guys, welcome back to another episode of Getting to Know Bend. I'm Annie Law with Anglo and Volkers, and today I'm here with Wing Williams, who is a local author here in town. How are you doing, Wing?
I'm doing very well, Annie. Thank
Good.
you for having me here tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you, and we in this great setting, Dudley's Bookshop, downtown Bend. Couldn't have asked for a better place to do our interview.
Well, on that note, this is a special place to me. You know, we're sitting right here in the book room where a lot of things have happened that have been good for this town. People learn, people listen, people read, people spend their time, and that's intentional growth.
Exactly, and they were also the first to feature your books, right?
They were, yes. Before my first book was published, I would write in this room and watch the sunset and the snowfall and the rain patter the windows. And you could just feel yourself
Right?
here.
It's a great place to be inspired. So tell me, what are your first three books about? Tell me more about those.
Well, my first book, which I like to call my rookie card, The Bear Within, it was my first step towards really pursuing this career. I had a wild 20s. Every year was a different job, a different place, and a different lesson learned. When I turned 30 years old, I realized I didn't want to keep doing the same thing. I wanted to take what I had learned and move forward and give it possibly as inspiration to others. So The Bear Within, it's rugged, it's full of mistakes, like myself. Even the first poem has an editing issue that I wish I had done differently. But I gave myself to the world and to myself in the essence through stories and observations, things I had listened to, things that had affected me and brought me forward, and I created this book. Book two, As a Wolf Breathes, I feel like I kind of graduated a little bit. It was my second year of beyond the rookie year, you know, and I started to realize that every single thing that you feel in the world, for me, can be a poem. You know, can be something written about. Whether other people read it or not, for me, this is the way I untangled my internal angst and I put it into poetry.
Which is not easy.
So book two is very much like a working through those depths but growth. And then book three, Owl of the Moon, I feel like I was finally in a spot where I could write in the way that I wanted to write.
Okay.
You know, I had worked so hard at it was intimidating, I was nervous. You know, what you give to the world is taking down those walls and unshielding yourself. This book is what I fully was able to give that essence of my growth.
Good, and I'm sure you can see that growth throughout the trilogy and watch how you've changed and developed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the goal, I think. Like any artist, like you go to a museum, it's great to look at Monet's first painting versus his later paintings.
Totally, and totally different, but still the same person.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And what about now? What's next?
Well, I'm not quite sure. Intentionally, I have a book that I'm working on, working title, Louisiana.
Okay.
It's about the refugees from the Ninth Ward in Hurricane Katrina.
Okay.
I was down there, I was 19 years old. I was this privileged kid living up in the Northeast, watching the hurricane unfold on TV, and I just felt this calling that I needed to be down there. I didn't know why, but I couldn't ignore that calling either. I was a rebel, and I had been doing all these scattered things in my life that weren't moving me forward. They were, if anything, moving me backwards, I felt at the time. So I called the 1-800-HELP-NOW number that was across the TV. I say, how much money do you want to donate? I say, I don't have any money to donate. I want to donate my time. So we went through the motions, first aid, etc. They flew me down. I landed in Baton Rouge. And the world was destroyed down there. People whose homes were destroyed, lives were lost, and family members were dead, and dogs were gone. And I just wanted to find a place I could help. So this story has been a long time coming. It's all based on truth. However, I'm fictionalizing it to protect certain identities.
Okay.
These people, specifically of the Ninth Ward, I ended up working in a shelter in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Everything was scattered. Emotions, understanding, feelings. Why did this happen? What do I do next? And I assimilated myself and became great friends. My life was actually saved that night by this guy whose name I will not say right now. He's gonna be in the book under a different name to protect his identity. He saved my life that night. I was taken by two guys backwards with a knife to my neck. He said, "Leave him!" And they did, because he was a trusted, feared, respected, maybe gangster from the Ninth Ward.
Yeah. Wow.
I was 19 years old, and this 29-year-old man and I became best friends through this situation. He was fighting for his family. His brother had been murdered the night that the levees broke. He was there for his grandmother, his sisters, his nieces and nephews. His father had long passed. It's a story about them. And when I left, a month and a half later, we had sat down together and he gave me something powerful, which was, "You can leave, but I can't." I was 19 years old, but I felt that, and I started to realize what the idea of privilege is.
Definitely.
And what do you do with such things? "You can leave here, but I cannot," he says to me.
That's
And he
huge.
said, "You need to tell the world this story at some point." And it took me a long time. I had my life to live. I was 19 years old, and I needed to grow as a writer. I couldn't do the story injustice by speaking it too soon.
Yeah, gotta let it simmer, figure out how you're going to approach that subject, because I know it's gonna be a powerful book. And I'm looking forward to reading it and hearing the
Thank
full
you.
story.
Thank you. But it's about them.
Good. Well, I think that's a story that needs to be told, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you're the person that's doing it. So
Appreciate that, Amy.
yeah, of course. How long have you been in Bend?
I've lived in Bend for about 6 years now.
Okay. And what brought you here?
Well, I hiked the Pacific Crest Trail back in 2012. I had hiked the Appalachian Trail out east, and I had never heard of the PCT, and that led me to the west. Born in San Diego, father was in the Navy. Scripps Memorial Hospital, I feel like I was always bound to be back west. I grew up in New Hampshire, but things didn't quite feel right in my soul. So when I hiked the Pacific Crest Trail and I came through the Oregon corridor, when I hitched in from Santiam Pass to resupply, get food, get drunk, just kind of relax, do laundry. I just knew that I needed to come back here. I could feel that.
Yeah.
I could feel that. So through many other excursions, I eventually moved back to Bend because my soul likes to be near what I call my bloodlines. And my bloodlines are the Appalachian Trail and the Pacific Crest Trail.
Yeah.
I needed to be close. I needed to be near this wilderness. I needed to be near the people and grow with the people that are living in a town of snow and smoke in September and weird climate change summers, but there's art here and there's intention here, and back in BC before COVID, things were one way and then people had to adapt. And the way this town has adapted just has captured my heart.
Yeah.
Bend is the longest place I've ever lived, and it is truly home.
Good. And I mean, same, I can say the same, I never thought I would end up here, and it drew me in. So.
What brought you from? Let me interview you for a second.
Now it's my turn.
What brought you here?
Well, my cousin was born and raised here, and I plan to stay 3 months with her and move on to the next stop. But, I love the seasons, I love the people, I love the town itself, like you said.
Yes.
Art and culture, not much diversity.
Don't tell me this town ain't got no heart. It's got to poke around.
It does.
Yes. And the adaptability, the way people evolve through any hardship. Bend truly has my heart.
It's a special place.
That's how I got here at PCT, and that's why I live here now.
And what kept you here too, so.
Indeed.
And so finally, what are you, obviously writing, you're very passionate about. What else are you passionate about?
Well, I'm very passionate about really taking what I've been given, the ups and the downs, and moving forward with it. I don't feel good about myself when I'm just coasting along. The way I was raised still is powerful in my soul and my heart. I was raised religiously. I am not religious. I was raised musically. I rebelled against that. At home, I like to play piano. And my dog, she sits there and occasionally howls when I play the notes just right.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Shout out to Wiley Wizzle, my dog. Music and my family, which is far away from me. What I do with my life is what I'm passionate about. I like to, I drink and I smoke and I maybe do things that aren't always necessarily the best for my health, but as long as I'm keeping a focus on the gifts that have been given to me. Like what we do with who we are is so important.
Definitely.
Every single notion, every single word we say to somebody on the street, every single time we wake up and decide what we do with our day creates a certain ripple. Those ripples are either positive or negative. I'm a firm believer in duality for sure. Obviously the good and bad, dark and light, all that good stuff, but how we live is going to be representative of who we are and how we're moving forward and how we affect the community that we live in.
Definitely.
So I am passionate about the steps that I take.
Okay.
When I was on the trail, I remember Appalachian Trail, for instance. There was a certain mountain in North Carolina. My Achilles heels were aching. My blisters, I popped them over the fire the night before. I was exhausted. People are dropping out left and right. The Georgia statistics. Why are we doing this? Why are we existing in a certain manner? And I said to myself at the bottom of that mountain, covered in sweat, completely exhausted, 100 more steps and then think about it again. 100 more steps and then thinking about it again. So I kept doing that every single day. And some days were glory. You hike 40 miles and you coast, and the scenery and the animals that you meet and these certain kind of just like spiritual depths that you have with the universe are powerful and keep you going, but there's those dark, hard days. So I take all of that into every single day life, no matter what is going on.
Yeah. You got to take it one step at a time, or in your case, 100 steps at a time, and day by day. Some days are going to be good, some aren't, but you just got to power through. And
well, I want to slow down for a second and say this. A lot of people deal with deep depression. It's something that I've always dealt with. When I was younger, it was more of a medicated focus. When I give my parents the benefit of love that they wanted the best for me, but it wasn't the best for me. So I was just kind of this young adult out there, confused and frustrated and sad. And I see a lot of people around me like that.
totally.
Sometimes they're just people you meet on the street. I'm sitting outside of a bar writing poetry, and a person walks by, and I can feel their essence, and we sit down, we have a conversation, and because of that conversation, things move forward in a positive way. Because they said hi and they accepted, or because I said hi and they accepted. Now, my poetry is simply I don't know if I could say a fruit of myself, but more of the core of myself. I write because I need to stay sane and be alive and grow. And also, I've realized that my writing sometimes connects with other people that are in a spot where they say, I feel you.
Yeah.
Or you hear something I'm going on with. As humans, I feel like society in a way has said, be in this box or this certain way. This is how we view you. With art, specifically, it's touching that internal strand of yourself that connects with every part of the universe.
Yeah.
And that is, if you attend to it, if you water it, if you grow a beautiful avocado tree, then we grow. If you don't, then it gets ruined and it gets stomped on.
Exactly. So I love that you can put that onto paper, and like you said, it affects other people. Other people find power from it. So I think what you're doing is awesome, and
Thank you.
I can't wait to follow you and see what great things come out of you, come out of that brain.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What do you think young people need right now when they're confused and sad?
I mean, a little bit of guidance, and
We're becoming adults. If we could give a little bit of that, everything that we've learned.
I mean, guidance, and you do it through your writing, and hopefully I can do it through real estate, which is a totally different path, but still helping people accomplish their goals. And so, I think that's what's most important.
I think we need to remember that, no matter what we're doing in life, whatever our career path is, or where we get dinner on a Saturday night, that everything affects other people.
It does.
One thing that I care a lot about is conscious, ethical consumerism, fair trade, for instance. There is so much in this world where we just buy and spend money, and it goes into a direction that actually is harming other individuals.
Yeah.
And that, for lack of that really grinds my gears.
Perfectly said. All right, Wayne. Well, it was honestly truly a pleasure to learn more about you and your writing. Everyone, make sure check out these books. Seriously, he's got some great stuff in here.
I'm going to read the first poem of my second book.
Let's hear it.
The mountain lion, the mountain goat, tundra that sleeps beneath the snow, the red beet, OSHA root and weight, golden eagle sight, diving osprey. The mountain am I, aspen shimmer evergreens. I am a river, I am all that sings.
Ooh, I love that. That's good. I can see, the influence from your hiking, your trails.
Thank you. And yes, that's there, but it's also just how we're connected as a universe and how important it is for us to be positive towards others and in our own self.
Totally.
If we are not, that creates a negative ripple.
Your negative ripple. It's all positive or negative.
Let's
so
be positive.
Let's be positive. I love it.
Fuck yeah.
All right, guys. You make sure to follow him on Instagram. You have an Instagram. What's
I
it?
do. It's called At the Hot Wing.
Excellent. And check out his books. Look forward to his new one, Louisiana, coming out in the summer next year. And thanks again.
Thank
It's
you
been
very
a
much,
pleasure.
Annie. Thank you for this time and
Of course.
sell them houses.
I'll
If you
work
want
on
a
it.
house, go to Annie.
I'm your girl.
All right.
Bye, guys.